How you doing, folks? Well, I'm back at it with Sean's Volkswagen bus here, and I'm going to get stuck back into it and see if we can get this to run properly. Those of you playing along at home might remember I had a good crack at it last time, but mainly focused on the fueling. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the tappets and the ignition system, and we're going to load up that parts cannon and throw a few things at it and see how we get on. So nothing of any great expense, to be honest with you, but I do have a new ignition coil for it, so that'll be one thing that's going to be getting added. Ignition coil, rotor arm, new plugs, new points, new condenser. So let's see how we get on. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to adjust the tappets, and the reason we do that first is because we have to do that when the engine is cold. So it's going to be cold now. So first things first, let's rotate the engine until it's at number 1 cylinder, top dead center, and we'll go from there and basically just check our valve clearances. Should be 6 thou. 4 to 6 thou. I'm going to go with 6 thou, to be honest with you. A little bit more clearance is better than a little bit less. So yeah, we'll get that all done, and then when I have the valve clearances set up, we'll unless there's anything particularly untoward. I have other videos about servicing Volkswagen engines, but unless there's anything untoward, I'll just get the job done and I'll bring you back when I'm finished. Okay, so the valves are now adjusted. They weren't miles out. The number 3 exhaust valve was a bit on the tight side, and come to think of it, the number 4 one was as well. Cylinders 1 and 2 inlet valves were actually slightly tight, but they weren't crazy tight or anything like that. Like, I mean, there was no question in my mind that there was any sort of sign of valve recession or anything like that, and I don't believe that it was causing the running issues or whatever. I mean, they were probably kind of 2 or 3 thou out or something like that. Still in all, it's part of the process. They're adjusted now anyway, and the next thing to do is to start by taking out the distributor, and I'm going to replace the points. I just realised I left the bloody parts down at the house. Oh, right, I have to go down and collect them. Oh yeah, right, okay, well I'll go down and get the parts and come back and replace the rotor arm. I'm actually going to replace them one part at a time. See, I still suspect that coil is burnt out or has gone faulty. So I suppose what I could do is start by replacing the coil and see if that cures our running issues. Either way, I'm going to be replacing the points and the condenser and all that as well. But apparently there's some quality issues with condensers these days, but I got a decent quality one. It was made in Mexico actually, so should be decent enough quality. It's the ones that are made in China are problematic. Not having to go with Chinese people or anything like that, but quality control issues, you know yourself. Anyway, look, so I'll go down and get the bits and I'll come back to you. Okay, so I went and got the parts. So this is our ignition coil first of all anyway. Bosch. Original Bosch coil, so should do the job nicely. Made in Brazil, so should be decent enough quality. The rotor arm, you know, it's actually worth looking at where the things are made, because to be honest with you, where they are made does make a massive difference. This the writing is in Portuguese on this, so I'd say it's probably Brazilian as well. It's Olympic. So must be fast. Wow, a top performer anyway. Grant, right? Okay, so that's that, and then we've points and condenser. So let's see. Points. Yeah, I don't know what the story is with them being in 2 parts like that. I must have a look and see if that's the way the old ones are. It's a bit weird. They're normally they're already put together, if you know what I mean. And then our condenser is Mexican. So there you go. Oh yeah, and the points are made in Turkey. So yeah. Right, okay, so smart money is on the points and condenser, but the coil in there looks like it's older than Methuselah's cat. So let's get that out of there and get a new one in, and we'll see if it makes a difference. I know there's an issue with the starting motor in this. Let's get everything in the engine sorted out first of all, and then we can have a look at the starting motor. Seems counterintuitive if I'm not able to start it, but it was kind of half behaving itself last time, so let's hope it continues to do so. It looks like the coil has actually been leaking. So there's oil inside the coils, and if that oil leaks out, you can be sure as hell that is a dead coil. So we're definitely doing the right thing by replacing this. Let's just make sure that we have the contacts on the right side. Yep. The other one's a Bosch as well, but that'll do the trick. So we need points going the negative side, and bloody vacuum pipe is in the way. Hang on, let's get this out of the way first of all. Oh, there we go. Yeah, put that up there for a minute. I might, at some point or another, when I'm coming back up to the shed, I might just bring up a set of my tools for putting for crimping on new spade terminals, and do a bit of wiring in here as well, because the wiring is not looking the best. Simple fix, and it can make all the difference. Right, let's get that stupid rev limiting rotor arm out of there as well. I'm just going to put a proper rotor arm in it instead. It's a bit of a worry is that hopefully, yeah, it just looks like this sits up a bit higher, so hopefully it'll do the trick. It's just, it looked deeper, if you know what I mean. That's not going to fit, is it? That is not fitting. That's very peculiar. Okay. That's a bit annoying, but we just have to hope that the rotor arm that we have is working. So let's put it back in anyway for the moment, and give it a little clean with a bit of emery, and see. So the hole is bigger in this one than it is in the other one. What I can do is, if needs be, just for the purposes of troubleshooting, I'll rob the rotor arm off my Beetle, which is behind me. It's kind of one of the reasons I brought the Beetle up here, to tell you the truth. Not that I kind of want to go into that whole thing, but you know, at least we can kind of troubleshoot a little bit. Alright, so I have the new coil in anyway. I haven't done anything else. I just cleaned the contacts on the rotor arm there anyway, and hopefully it'll be alright. And if we have kind of done the likes of the points and condenser and all that as well, and now I'm starting to wonder, are the points the right ones? We'll have to find out. See, I'm starting to think that given the fact that I got rocket cover gaskets for a Type 4 engine, that rotor arm and the points and that are also for a Type 4 engine. So I think I might have some wrong parts here. It's kind of annoying. I do have a set of points at home which I can stick into this if needs be, but that means I have to go home yet again, and I also have to find them. So yeah. Right, look, let's just continue on. Let's see if it runs now first of all. Already sounded a bit more positive. Far from perfect, but got a bit of heat into it. Hey, I think it was the coil, folks. Get the mixture set up right now, because I was noodling around with the carburetor when I had it when I was at it the last time. So hailstones outside, marvellous. Right, so before I go touching the carburetor, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull the distributor off it. It's the easiest thing to do when you're doing the likes of points and condensers and stuff like that. But don't take out the nut facing you, or don't take off the nut facing you and pull it out. What you do instead is take it off at the, there's another 13mm nut on the back. And if you take that off, it means it keeps the timing. Now you're going to have to do the timing again anyway when you've done the points, but at least it gets you in the ballpark, you know. So yeah, we'll do that anyway. If they're the right points, happy days, I'll fit them. If not, what we'll do is we'll clean the ones that are in it, and hopefully that will that'll do the trick. So yeah, let's do that. It's a bit awkward to get at, but believe me, it makes life a lot easier in the long run. So if you have a quarter drive socket, that's the one to use. So you see the distributor comes out quite easily that way. And what happens is, and it helps when you disconnect the wire for the points, Ross. There you go. Now, what happens is you can, because you still have this plate here on it, that's essentially, you would turn the distributor within that plate in order to set your timing. So if I'm going to put that back on like that, then the timing is going to stay the same, even though I've removed the distributor. And the dog drive on the bottom of it here is also offset. Now what I'm going to do as well is I'm also going to lube up the distributor, and we're going to just have a look and make sure that everything is free to move inside there too. Because what can happen as well is like it's not looking great in there now, you know, it's all looking very dry, and I wonder if I was just looking on the vacuum canister there, and it's barely moving, so I'd say a liberal coating of lubricant in there will sort that out. But what we'll do is we'll get the points and condenser off it first of all, and we'll go from there. I think the points will actually do the trick. They look like they might they just slide onto a post, so it's probably just a case where there's a couple of different ways of doing the same job. So I'm going to take out this screw and we're going to have a look and see. When we have that out, we'll take the condenser off then as well, and we'll have a look. It's not particularly difficult to remove the plate here that that everything runs on. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take that off. So what we'll do is when we get the condenser off, there's a screw here that actually holds on this clip. There's another one on the other side as well, and then you take the vacuum canister off after removing the little clip inside, and that gives you access to the flyweights inside and it allows you to lubricate the inside of the distributor and get that all squared away. And then at least when we have that done, we can say, right, okay, we know the distributor is working right, because at the moment it's all very stiff and very you know, it definitely is proving my theory that the issues on this engine are less carburetor related and more ignition system related. They're not a complicated mechanism, but they do need to be right for the engine to run well. You know, I mean, it's kind of basic enough, like when you think about it like that. Like, I need a little hook pick or something like that to get that clip out. A small screwdriver. This will do. It's sort of a circlip. This will be probably the last job I do up in this shed. Actually, after this, I'll be moving house and I'm going to have a shed of my own. So a proper shed, like, rather than the garage down at my house. So those of you who've been playing along at home will probably, well, I'm sure have seen me working from my garage at home. It's where I did the engine conversion on the camper van. So that was tight for space, and I ended up actually having to fit the engine out on the driveway. So that's not to say that the camper van will definitely fit into the new garage, but other cars should, and the poor neglected MG behind me should definitely. Yeah, let's say that's working. Yeah, doesn't taste very nice though. All right, so that's what we're left with in there, okay. And what I'll do is I'll take these screws here out. Slightly smaller screwdriver than that. It's a bit ignorant joke. All right, just gonna put up a fight, is it? Get the right screwdriver. One size down. This is a Halford screwdriver set I got, and it's brilliant. All right, that's that one out. All right, so now we have that out. We should be able to just get under here, you can see there, and just wiggle that plate out. It doesn't always come out easily, but God, it's well stitched in there. That's been a long time since that's been out. Just needed a bit more force. Alright, so now let's see if the flyweights are working. So you can actually see the flyweights in there. If you hold the bottom of the distributor shaft and you turn the top and you look down into it, you can see the flyweights move out. I'll move my light around so you can see in there. They're moving, but certainly wouldn't hurt to get a bit of cleaning done in there. So I'm gonna take that off, get it all cleaned. We'll get this plate here cleaned up as well, and then that should help that'll help the distributor to do its job an awful lot better. Can't argue with that, folks. It's like a new distributor. It's a 015 distributor actually, so not exactly the same as what I have on my Beetle, which is a 035, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to refit the plate. It's all lubricated with a little bit of engine oil. Okay, so you don't want anything too heavy down there, and what I had to hand was engine oil, so that's what I got. So let's put it all back together again. I'll give you a laugh. Wait until you see the state of the points. Bloody hell. Yeah, I know, I probably could have checked these first, but they're even sticky, like, I mean, for God's sake. Right, definitely can't put these points back into it. So, yeah, we have the new ones, and to be honest with you, it does look like they will fit, actually. So, you can see the way it's kind of on a little post here, so... Oh, hang on. Damn it. No, they won't fit, will they? No, because the post will be in the distributor rather than on the points. That's bloody annoying, that is now. Feck, anyway. Alright, I can't put those points back into this engine. There's no way. I mean, I can't, there's no way I'll get the engine running. I'll have to go down and get a set of points at the house. I'll put the condenser on anyway. Ah, yeah. What can you do? I knew I had a set of points at home, so I brought these ones up. They were used, but they were working when I took them off the car. They were originally on the Beetle actually, but the contacts are fine on them, and I'm going to throw them in, and they'll certainly be a hell of a lot better than what's on it. And what I'll do is I'll say to Sean, the owner of the van, that if he wants me to change the points out for a new set at a later point, excuse the pun, then we'll do that. So yeah, but what I will do is I will use the new condenser, because although it's not a perfect fit, it will fit, and it's brand new as well. So the reason the points were burnt on that, the points we took out were burnt, was probably because the condenser was bunched. There's major quality control issues, as I said, with condensers, so I'm not going to take the chance. I'm certainly not going to put the old one in anyway. But yeah, so I'll throw this in, throw the points in, get the gap adjusted, and we'll go from there and see how it all plays out. This is the reason why I like to do this off the engine. It's simply because of the fact that it's a hell of a lot easier. So it's 16 thou is the gap, okay? So what we're looking for now is just basically you get the phenolic block of the points up onto the highest point on the little cam, and just open them up. If you push the hinged part of the points down towards it, you basically squeeze it up, but make sure the other piece is pressed against the cam, and you'll get it then. So that's that. So tighten this screw. And we'll just check that again. I think it slipped on me. Yeah, that slipped on me. Oh, it's fiddly. It's fiddly, but we'll get there. Okay, so the distributor is all back together, the points are adjusted, and we're good to go. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to install it, and we're going to see how well the engine runs, and then we can get the timing done. And I brought a little gas analyzer thingy for doing the mixture adjustment, so it'll be slightly more scientific than it would otherwise be. So we should be able to get this engine running pretty damn well by the end of all of this. So let's get this distributor in first, and we'll see how we go from there. Okay, so as I said, the timing is going to have to be adjusted after we're done here anyway, so that's we can expect that. So now first thing we need to do is drop that in there, and then make sure the bracket is down onto the stud, which it's not. Needs to turn a little bit. There we go, now it is there. Okay, so next thing we do is turn the shaft until the distributor just drops down nicely. That seems right. Sitting up a little bit. Sometimes you can get these 180 degrees out. There you go. Yeah, so don't force it. That was 180 degrees out, so it does kind of just about slot down onto the drive dog, but it doesn't actually go onto it as such. So, but if you force it, it will go on. And yeah. Right, okay, so connect up the points. The condenser is actually just a capacitor, and if you have a bad condenser, you'll know, because you'll be getting a bright yellow spark between the points when they open and close, which you can actually see if you try and open them yourself with the ignition on. So yeah, so one way of diagnosing the problem. But look, this is a new condenser, a good second-hand set of points, which, as I said, I'll replace in the future. Get that vacuum pipe back on there, and we'll throw our nut and washer back on the stud at the back here. Actually, you need to take the cap off to do that, don't I? You do. And get that down there, and I don't have my super bright work light with me. I just brought a little portable one that I got recently there, actually, which is kind of handy, but it's just not as bright as the other one. It still does the trick though. Okay, that's tight now. Okay, so stick out. I just realised actually I put the distributor cap on without the rotor arm in. That'd be a good trick, alright. Alright. There we go. Come on, there is nobody who works on old cars who hasn't done that to themselves at least once. Straight away, that's so much better. Let it warm up a little bit, and then what we'll do is we'll do our timing adjustment first of all, and then we'll adjust the carb. For some reason or another, it literally just died on me. It literally cut out as if the ignition got killed. So that's a little bit of a worry. So let's see what's going on there. Let's see if it starts again first of all. Wonder what caused that. I wonder is it out of fuel? That would be kind of annoying if that's what's after happening, because that means that I end up having to go and buy some petrol for it. It would explain the problem, but right, marvellous. I'm going to just assume it's out of petrol and I'm going to just go and buy some. I'm just thinking to myself, actually, what happened the last time Sean probably drove this van or tried to use it was when he went to move it, it emptied the contents of its fuel tank all over the ground. He probably just put a can of fuel in it. And with all the noodling around I've been doing here, it's probably used that up. So I'm going to go and fill up a can, come back down and throw it into it, and hopefully we'll see some action out of it. At least that way then we can set the timing and get the, what the hell is dripping? The oil pressure sender is dripping. I might just throw a spanner on that at some stage as well and nip it up. But yeah. Anyway. Oh, do you know what it is? It's the oil from inside the distributor. That's all it is. It's just after running out of it. Yeah, because I put engine oil in it. That's it. That's grand. Okay, fair enough. Right. Yeah. Petrol next, and we'll go from there. Next problem. I don't have the bloody key for the fuel filler cap. And this bastard thing cost a tenner to fill. God almighty, like the price of petrol at the moment. Anyway, right, I'll give Sean a call, see if he's around. Okay, so we got sorted with a drop of petrol here now, so we're gonna spin the engine over, let the fuel pump do its thing and pull the fuel through to the carb, and we should see a bit of life out of this, and then I can get it heated up and we can get it all tuned up. So let's see how we're getting on. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to do the timing now, so I'll bring you guys in a bit closer so you can see what I'm at. Just want to get it reasonably close. I'm on the wrong plug there. Timing is spot on. Happy days. Okay, so now it's just a case of doing a mixture adjustment. It's still cutting out, but it has to be just down to the mixture. Yeah, just after finding an issue here, folks. Fuel cutoff solenoid is wonky. I think I saw a couple of spare carbs knocking around here. I'm going to rob one off one, but that's definitely not going to. The spade terminal's coming away from us. Right, we need to figure that out first of all. Okay, so I borrowed a solenoid now, so now it's literally a case of just dialing in the carb, and we should be good to go. So I'm going to do that now, and yeah, fingers crossed it's all right. Sounds a lot better now. At least we know that the fuel cut-off solenoid needs to be replaced as well, so it's another job to be done. But simple enough thing to replace, to be fair, and they're not expensive. I'd say it's fair to say that this is running really nice now. Happy days. To be honest with you, I'm going to leave well enough alone. I'm happy with the way it is now. Now, the only thing is we do need to replace the fuel cut-off solenoid. As I said, I borrowed one off another van for the moment just to test it out. But the results speak for themselves, folks. So I'm a really happy man, and so is Sean. He popped up to give me the keys for the fuel filler cap. So yeah, that's a win. So listen, thanks a lot for watching, folks. Stay tuned because there's going to be more stuff on the way, and might not be every Friday, but I'll try and do my best to get a few bits and pieces out to you. And yeah, I'll catch up with you soon. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in a future video.